Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, mighty companions. Hello, mighty companions. Hello, mighty companions. Hello, mighty companions. Welcome to A Course in Miracles. Take a breath. Relax. Take advantage of the fact that you're surrounded by light beings. Everyone in this room and everybody that's listening to me is a light being. You are a light being. There's only one thing you need to remember. Remember only this. Remember only this. Remember only this. You need not believe the ideas. 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 You don't have to believe the ideas. You do not have to believe the ideas. You do not have to believe the ideas. You don't have to believe the ideas. You don't have to believe the ideas. In A Course in Miracles, you don't have to believe the ideas. In A Course in Miracles, you don't have to believe the ideas. You don't have to accept the ideas. Listen to me. You don't have to accept these ideas. You do not 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 have to accept these ideas. You don't 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 have to accept these ideas. You do not have to accept these ideas. You do not have to accept these ideas. You do not have to welcome these ideas. You do not have to welcome these ideas. You don't have to welcome these ideas. You don't have to welcome these ideas. Do you know you don't have to welcome these ideas? Some of these ideas, you may actively resist. Some of these ideas, you may actively resist some of these ideas. 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 these ideas you will find very hard to believe, hard to believe. Some of these ideas you may find hard to believe, hard to believe. Some of these ideas, you may find some of these ideas hard to believe. You may find some of these ideas hard to believe. You may find some of these ideas from A Course in Miracles hard to believe. You may find some of these ideas hard to believe. You may find some of these ideas hard to believe. But do you know you're not being asked to judge and analyze these ideas? We're not asking you to judge and analyze these ideas. It's not about you analyzing and judging these ideas. Some of these ideas you will find very hard to believe. And some of these ideas may startle you. Some of these ideas may startle you. But you're not being asked to analyze and judge the ideas at all. Some of these ideas may startle you, but you're not being asked to judge and analyze. Nobody's asking you to judge and analyze. Do you know their use will give the ideas meaning to you? Using the ideas will give the ideas meaning to you. These ideas won't mean anything to you until you use them. These ideas won't mean anything to you until you use these ideas. They won't mean anything to you until you use these ideas. Do you know? 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 Their use will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. Using the ideas, that's what will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you. Do you know that using these ideas, the ideas will show you that the ideas are true? How would you like to go to page 216 in the text? Actually, no, 215. 215 in the text of A Course in Miracles in the Blue Book, the Foundation for Inner Peace book. Last week I talked about, this section is called the Judgment of the Holy Spirit. What's it called? Judgment of the Holy Spirit. Okay, the Holy Spirit is love. So we're talking about love or fear. That's all we're talking about. So we're talking about what would be the judgment, how would a person judge if they were loving? And how would you judge people around you if you were following love? What would that look like? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's something we throw out all the time, but how would it really look to be treated? What would it be like to be treated by someone who loved you? For real.
Acceptance.
That's absolutely one of the things that would happen in that situation. And so what we want to do is, the Course in Miracles says the most important thing that you can do first in order to accept a new idea is to hear it. And that's why I work out of the book, so that we can hear the ideas. It's also told us that it's through repetition and then application that you get the physical reality that you're looking for. So I know I want more love in my life and I want more peace in my life. And it told me last week that the truth is real in its own right, and to actually believe the truth, you don't have to do anything. Now, remember I said you don't have to believe it. So nothing am I teaching you, am I teaching from a perspective that I'm trying to convince anybody of anything or trying to get people to have to believe or agree with me. Okay, are we clear? that I'm just being a vessel for what it's saying, then you'll have your own reaction, right? But the Course says to us that if it's true, you don't have to do anything. And it also tells us that we don't ever respond to anything that's going on directly. We always respond to the meaning that we're giving it and how we're interpreting it. And so I always like to use now. Like, what are you doing right now? You're interpreting, are you not? And then you're responding according to how you're interpreting what I'm saying. Are we in agreement about that? That everybody is interpreting me right now. Okay, did you know you're responding to that interpretation? That's what you're doing. So then it said last week, well, that's why analyzing the motives of other people, that's dangerous to you. Analyzing where you think somebody else is coming from is dangerous to you. Why is it dangerous for me to try to figure out where you all are coming from? Well, because if I decide that you all are trying to hurt me or desert me, or if I decide that you are trying to enslave me or attack me in any kind of way, then what am I going to do? I'm going to respond to you as if you have actually done that. If I think you don't like me, I'm going to respond to you like you don't like me. If I think you do like me, I'm going to respond to you like I thought you liked me. So all of our emotional responses is coming from our interpretations. So if you want to change the way you feel, if you want to be a person who can change the way you feel almost instantly, would you know how to do that? Would you like to know? The way you learn how to change your feelings instantly is to always remember that your feelings are coming from your interpretations and the meanings that you're giving to whatever is going on right now. So how you feel right now is coming from how you're interpreting me in this moment right now. The way you feel right now doesn't have anything to do with me. The way you are feeling right now doesn't have anything to do with that person. The way that you're feeling doesn't have anything to do with that person. The way that you're feeling about that person doesn't have anything to do with that person. The way you feel about that person has nothing to do with that person. The way that you're feeling is coming from your interpretation of that person, and your interpretation of that person is causing the reaction that you're having to that person. So all feelings are nothing but interpretations. Ooh, 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 ooh,
Yeah, ouch.
ooh, ooh. So you mean I could change my feelings immediately if I change my interpretation, but it's hazardous to me because I'm going to respond to you as if the way I feel about you is true. But if the way I interpret you is wrong, it's hazardous to me because I'm going to react to you as if you are doing what I think that you are doing, and I could be totally wrong. So I could attack you in an unjustified way, and you could kick my butt, or be mad at me, or separate from me. So me judging where you're coming from and then responding to you as if you're the way I've decided you are might put me in some situations that hurt me, and it's hazardous to me. See, I'll practice the truth faster if I find out what it's doing to me. Because I'm more concerned about my safety than yours. I can tell you I'm just as concerned about your safety as mine. I know that sounds real spiritual, but it'd be more spiritual to tell the truth. I hope to one day feel about you the way I feel about me and look out for you the way I would look out for me. But right now, if this tells me I would be safer if I didn't try to analyze where you're coming from, then I'm more likely to do it if I think it's going to help keep me safe. If I think it's going to give me a more peaceful life. I have more motivation. But you're going to benefit. How would you benefit? Because I'm no longer dealing with you like you're the way I think you are. That's how it benefits you. So then he goes on to the next paragraph. Then the Course says, well, oh yeah, this is another thing. It says it's so cool. He says, when I think you're the way I think you are, then I'm going to overlook the truth of how you really are. You really could be totally peaceful, loving person, but if I'm reacting to you being the way I think you are, then I'm going to overlook the truth about you. And the truth about you is you haven't done anything to me. You're sitting in the chair right now. So every time you use your interpretation, it's a good possibility you're overlooking the truth of what's really going on. Okay, everybody, and tell me when I lose you, because it's fun for me to help to answer those kind of, if you don't understand something that the Course is saying, believe me, I can help you with it. There's not many things in this world that I'm familiar with, but I am familiar with this. So let me save you some time. Okay.
Can you go to the line before the last line you just said?
Okay, did you follow? Oh, the last line. Okay, if you're really trying to attack, if you believe somebody's trying to attack you, desert you, or enslave you, you're going to respond as if they've actually done so. So you're making the error real to you. You made the error, but you're making it real to you. Because you're the one that's interpreting where the person's coming from. You don't really know where the person is coming from. But he says, and as soon as you interpret where somebody's coming from, he says, then you're giving it power. See, the more I interpret where you're coming from, the more I'm going to give it power. The more I come up with how I think you are, then I'm going to give how I think you are a lot of power.
And also, you see things and you basically say, you see, I was right. And you only see things that validate what you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yes, to interpret the errors, to give it power, you've made a mistake just by trying to interpret where you think somebody else is coming from. And if you decide they're trying to hurt you in some way, then you're going to respond as if they've actually done what you think they've done. And the Course in Miracles says, then you're going to make it real, and then you're going to give it power, and then you're going to overlook the fact that maybe the person hasn't done anything at all. You're overlooking the truth. Okay, then it says, the analysis of ego motivation is very complicated. Me trying to analyze where the separate people in this room are coming from is very complicated. It also is very obscuring. When I'm dealing with the interpretation of what I think you are, it's hiding who you are. I'm not seeing who you are because I'm dealing with my interpretation of who you are, so that's obscuring the truth about you anymore. Then it says right after that, never without your own ego involvement. So it's going to take my ego to actually try to figure out where you're coming from. So I'm already in my wrong mind trying to figure out where you're coming from. I'm already in my fearful mind trying to figure out where you're coming from. I'm in my separated mind thinking that I'm different from you, trying to figure out where you're coming from. And the Course says, then the Lord said, do you know why you do that? Do you know why people judge? Do you know why people are sitting around judging each other or interpreting each other? The Course says, let me answer that. I tell you why. Because you're trying to convince yourself that you know what's going on. I love that when he says that, oh, you're just trying to convince yourself you know what's going on. So you're going to judge everything around you. Then you're going to react to it as if it's true. And then you're going to deal with it as if it's true. And then you're going to overlook what the real truth might be. Because you're too busy reacting to the way that you think it is. Because it's involving your own ego, by the way. So you're not seeing anything in anybody that's not a part of your own mind, part of your own ego. Only the ego can see ego. Only the fearful mind can see the fearful mind. Only the guilty mind can see the guilty mind. So the Course of Miracles is saying us, you can't tell me what's wrong with me without also having the corresponding thing just as wrong with you. So remember that the next time you're ready to judge or criticize somebody, you can only see them through the thing in you that's just like that. So you are just like whatever you're judging and looking at. You are just like that yourself. So if I want to know where a person is really coming from, all I got to do is shut up and listen to what they're saying about everybody else. Then I know what kind of mind I have. And they do. Notice I didn't exclude myself, because I'm still hearing their ego. Even though I think it's their ego judging somebody else's ego. It's still, at any point that I see it is in my mind. It's what the Course is saying. I love that. So I like to thank people. I like to thank all of you for making me aware of how screwed up I am in some areas in my thinking. I want you to know, because if it was left up to me, I believe I didn't have any of the qualities I don't like. If it was left up to me, I'd always go, I'm the nice one and everybody else got the problem. I'm the happy one, but everybody else is sad. You know, if it was up to me, it's going to always be, I don't have the issues you have. So I want you to know, if I see your issues are my issue. If we are one, it's nothing that could be a part of you that's not a part of me. So if you think we are one, you got to get rid of that thought that you're seeing anything other than yourself. And you're seeing anything other than your own mind. That's all you're looking at all the time is your mind. And sometimes you let your mind kick your behind. Don't you? Have you ever let your mind kick your behind?
Yeah.
I have done it. Maybe this last week your mind been kicking your behind. My mind's been kicking my behind at my request. Spirit told me if I ever want to correct any perception that I have, the Spirit talks to me, so I'm going to tell you what to do. If you have any thought and you want to get it instantly corrected, if you have any perception that you want instantly corrected, Earl, this is what you do. Okay, good, because I want correct perception instantly. So all you have to do is whatever you say, at the end of it, say 3 words, at my request. Say anything you want to say, and then at the end of it go, at my request. I lost my job today, at my request. I had a flat tire today at my request. I felt guilty about what I did last night at my request. People don't like me at my request. Things go great for me at my request. Things go bad for me at my request. So if you want to correct any perception you have about anything, go at my request. Because every single thing that happens to you, you ask for it and receive as you have asked. And then I cussed God out. Soon as the voice got through saying that, I let expletives out like you didn't even want to believe. And you know what the inner voice of God and Spirit does when I do that? Laughs. Yeah. It cracks up. I remember one time this girl who could read your guides and read your angels and stuff. And she was gonna do it on me. Yeah. And she stood up next to me and she was like getting ready. She was reading. And I said, well, what they saying? What they saying? And she kept pouring out my heart with all my, my problems and my issues, and I wanted to guide my guys to give me. And this lady said, they're laughing. She said they're just laughing. They think it's ridiculous that an unlimited child of God could think they could possibly be in some situation that they themselves choose and could also choose out of. It's like, it's funny to them that we could even think we couldn't be loved, or that we're not innocent and not one, and like all the negative things we're tempted to think about ourselves. There's a line in the Course in Miracles where it says, Spirit is happy every time you're sad because you're getting that much closer to giving up on your plan and getting ready to listen to the guidance of your higher power. So every time you fail, you're a step closer to listening to your guidance. So every time you fail coming up with one of your plans, then the Course says Spirit feels happy because now you're one step closer to giving up thinking you're going to be the one that's going to do it by yourself. Does that make sense to everybody?
It does to me.
Yeah, it does to me. It's like, every time my child realized that, jumping off the porch barefooted into glass is not going to work, then they'll stop doing it. So every time they fail, it's good for them. Then it says in the next paragraph, what are you trying to do? It says, well, as an adult, you're just trying to convince yourself that you understand what you're looking at, that you understand what's going on. I like that. Then it says, how do you know that you're doing that? How do you know you're trying to convince yourself that you know what's going on? It says this is shown by the fact that you react to your interpretations as if they were correct. You're always reacting to everything as if you're right. So that means you actually think you have the ability to understand everything because you think that what you're saying is right, because you think that you've demonstrated your ability to understand what's going on. So now you're going to react to what you think as if it's right. One of the things I used to make myself so irritated about with people was when they would tell me how I felt. That just used to, I do that so much that used to really bother me. Did you ever say it?
Yeah.
I do that so much that it was bothering me because they would say, I know what you're really feeling. I'm going, you don't know. I just told you what I'm really feeling. And it's me. And I know better what I'm feeling than you know. No, they're going, no, I know you better than you know yourself. So I was interpreting them in a way that made me want to kill them. And I think I would have been right. Because I was trying to demonstrate, I understand what's going on. You need your butt kicked. I have to bring it down every day. So I'm sorry, y'all. I don't talk in lofty terms of spirituality. Because I'm here in Colfax. I'm here in Denver, Colorado, where there's Colfax Avenue that you're taking your life in your hands to cross. So I'm in a place that I need to be on it. This is not a place for wimpy souls. Wimpy souls do not come to earth. I said it again. Wimpy souls do not come to earth.
At their request.
At their request. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, this was a practical application. I was born black. It's my request.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank God I could dance. All right. You see, I'm an old puppet. I'll be 80 years old in 7 years. And I'm saying that out loud for the first time in front of a group of people. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I don't want to be afraid of aging. Because I'm not my body. I'm not this body, but I believe I am. Did you hear what I said? I'm not this body, but I believe I am. I believe I am. How do you know that? You know how the Course says you'll know when you no longer believe your body is in the lesson called Sickness is a Defense Against the Truth, lesson 136. It says the way you will know when you really let go of all attack and you really no longer see yourself as a body is you won't need food or drink or air. Any of the things we think we need physically in order to survive, you will no longer need those things when you realize you are light and you are spirit, truly. Then the defenses come up. What about the body? The body can be spiritual. No, the body is an illusion. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? Mm-hmm. The body is temporary. Mm-hmm. Right. That's what it means. It doesn't mean you don't go through pain, what you think of as pain and pleasure. What it's saying when it says it's an illusion is that it's not permanent. Yeah. And from a miracle perspective, if it's not permanent, it's not real.
Not real.
That's all it means. This world that we're in right now is an illusion because I defy anyone in this room to show me anything in the physical universe that's not temporary. Even the sun is temporary, even though they say it'll be so many millions of years before it burns out. So the Course is trying to get us to understand that when we're not looking at things from the perspective of our oneness, then every interpretation that we make is wrong and based on something that's not true. So therefore, your interpretation of everything is wrong because you're interpreting everything as if it's separate from you and different from you and not you. So let's go to the next sentence because it gets better, right? So what happens when you think you're right? Well, the next thing you're going to do when you think you're right in some situations is that you might control the way you behave. I might think you don't like me, but I'm going to control the way that I behave. I'm going to control. Have you ever controlled the way you were behaving? Okay, well, the Course says that when you think your perceptions are correct, but you can't express yourself the way you want to, you're going to start controlling your behavior. You still think you're right, but you're just behaving the way you think you should. You really want to go off, but then you don't because you're trying to behave the way you think you should. And so when the Course says you do that, you might be controlling your behavior, but you're not really controlling your emotions. I might feel like I don't like you, control myself not to attack you, but I'm still feeling like I don't like you, even though I'm behaving like I do. Have you ever done that? Have you ever behaved the way you think you should without really wanting to? Or pretend you were okay about something that you were really feeling upset about? I think I'm saying something that everybody should easily agree with. Is this true for all of us?
Yes.
That we all do that from time to time? Yes. Okay, well, this would obviously be what? A split. So when you behave other than the way you feel, the Course says you are attacking the integrity of your mind. You are attacking the oneness of your mind. When you are behaving one way and feeling one way, you're attacking the oneness, the integrity. You're attacking your integrity. You are attacking your integrity. You are attacking your integrity every time you're behaving in a way that's not authentic. You are attacking your integrity every time you're behaving in some way that's opposite to the way that you feel. And the Course says that, I love that. It says that's pitting one level of your mind against another level of your mind. You're pitting one level of yourself against another level of yourself whenever you're behaving the way you think you should. I'm always behaving the way I think I should pretty much all the time without really wanting to. I very seldom express myself the way I really want to in front of anybody. So that keeps me at a minor state of tension and fear and conflict. Because I'm interpreting you in terms of how I think you could react to what that is, and then I'm responding to you as if you're acting the way that I think you would be if I expressed myself. So I overlook the truth which is you seem perfectly safe to be myself around. Because I'm trying to convince myself I know what's going on. So I trust my judgments of the way I think you are. Then I behave the way that I think I should without really wanting to. And then I attack the integrity of my mind because I'm pitting one part of me against another part of me. Have you ever pitted one part of you against another part of you? Please don't look at me like I'm saying something strange.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Okay.
Danger.
Because every time we can agree that we all go through the same things, the more we will join and the more we'll love each other and the safer we'll feel around each other. So every time we go, yeah, I've had that feeling before, we become that much closer and we merge that much more with each other. I'm telling you, that's how you do it. Just tell the truth. We all have the same feelings at different times and different places, but they're the same feelings. You might be feeling totally peaceful and on top of the world today. So when I said something about depression or whatever, then you feel like, oh, I can hardly relate to that. And then 2 days later, I could see you totally depressed because something didn't go right the way you wanted it to go. And that day I'm feeling pretty good. And then I'm wondering, what's your problem? Right?
Yeah.
The same feelings, we just did it on different days. Anybody haven't had a chance to sign the contact list? All right.
I haven't.
Okay, great. The Course in Miracles, so what I'm saying, anything that I'm saying, have I lost you so far? Okay, so as I begin to trust you more and trust myself more, I will reveal more of myself. And hopefully I'll be a safe enough place for you to do the same thing, or feeling safe to reveal more and more of yourself. But right now you are looking at my representative, because in public I have a representative. And so I have my public self, which is a representative. And then the people that I'm really close to, they get a chance to see what's being represented. So the safer I feel with you, the more I will show you of who I am.
What's the real Earl show?
Right. The real Earl is here. He's just covered up by bullshit
Oh.
that he learned from the past. Pardon my French, those of you who are so fragile that that word just almost killed you. Okay. All right. I swear, if people believe they're paragons of spirituality, and you said one little word, he's now banned from every course group on Facebook. But I need to call myself for my own BS, but not condemn myself for it. Calling myself on my stuff is not the same as me condemning myself for my stuff. Because my stuff is your stuff. And your stuff is my stuff. And then we're not either of our stuff. Right? So then the Course says, I'm going to make it easy for you. I'm going to make it really easy for you. Love says, I'm going to give you just one thing to remember. There is just one interpretation of motivation that makes sense. If you are going to interpret motivation, there's just one interpretation I want you to use, and this interpretation is going to make sense. What is that interpretation? Well, first of all, because it's an interpretation or a judgment, the same as interpretation means judgment. So therefore, he's saying it's the judgment of God. This is the judgment that God uses, love uses, spirit uses. This is it. This is the judgment that a loving person would use. This is the judgment that somebody that loves you, really loves you, would use. And this judgment requires no effort on your part. I like anything that don't require no effort on my part and I get the benefit. Wouldn't you like to have some things that don't require no effort on your part for you to get benefit? Well, the Course says, you know why it's no effort on your part? Because I'm not asking you to use your judgments. As a matter of fact, I beg you not to use yours. That's what Spirit is saying. Would you please not use your judgment? Like some people be afraid of losing their mind. The Course says you should want to lose your mind.
Right?
That should be the main thing you're ready to lose is your mind, the mind that thinks it's separate from love, the mind that thinks it's separate from each other, the mind that thinks it's separate from God. He says you ought to be glad to lose that mind. So I'm going to give you an interpretation. You like to judge. I'm going to give you a judgment that won't hurt you. I'm going to give you a judgment that benefits you. Because I like to judge. I love to judge. It's so easy for me to judge. I don't know. It just happens, don't you? You know, I just as soon as I look at somebody, I judge them. I just immediately. As a matter of fact, I couldn't see them unless I was judging. The Course in Miracles said something that blew my mind. It said judgment is perception. Judgment is perception. Perception is judgment. Perception is interpretation. That the only thing, he says, the court says the only thing we ever see is our judgments. I'm judging you as women and men and people and bodies. I'm judging you right now. I'm judging everything about you, what you're wearing, how you're looking to me, how you're responding to me. I'm just seeing my judgments. So that means you exist outside of my judgments. You know, it's like being inside a bubble, and in that bubble, the only thing I'm seeing is my own projection. But there's you all on the outside of my arms. You see what I mean? Here are my arms, and I'm here. Oh, yeah, this is what the class is feeling right now. Yeah, I'm interpreting. Yes, look at that. And that one, So I'm seeing my interpretations, but you all on the other side of this. So you are on the other side of my physical perception of you. You're not seeing anything but your own projections.
That's it.
That's all you're seeing right now. Your own judgments and your own projections, and I'm on the other side of them. And the court says, how will you know when a person is really seeing you? And how will you know when you've really seen the person beyond their projections? As well, that's easy. What you see will be so beautiful that it will be hard for you not to fall down on your knees with tears of joy. And I didn't see y'all do that when you all came in.
Next time.
Yeah. Would you wash my feet too while you were at it? I got a bowl in the kitchen. I bring it out here, stick my toes in there, and I suck it. I had a person do that to me one time and trip me out. I mean, they felt such devotion and beauty, and they saw something in me that I didn't even see. It's certainly not my ex-wife. She didn't see the Christ in me. It was there, but we didn't see it in each other for a while. And so she said, "It's okay if I wash your feet." It's symbolic of my appreciation, not because you're a cult leader over me. I felt this is a symbology of devotion. And then what happened was, it was so hard. It was so hard to deal with her interpretation of me. And then she was behaving toward me as if her interpretation was true, right? And so I was getting an example of that very thing. And I was overlooking the truth about myself because I wasn't seeing the divine being that was worthy of it that she was looking at. And then I had to try to convince myself that I knew what was going on by judging that she couldn't possibly be seeing me correctly, right? And so when she actually did it, I saw that my capacity to receive love and devotion was not where I thought it was. So I'm going to give you an easy way out. I'm going to give you a judgment that you can use that will never hurt you. So that way it will satisfy your desire to judge, but it won't limit you. Isn't that cool? Because I'm going to tell you, I'll say it to you again. I like to judge. There's a part of me that likes to judge, that likes to give my opinion of things, try to figure it out like I know exactly where it's coming from. There's a part of me that wants to be right. There's a part of me that wants to be right. There's a part of me that wants to be right. Yeah. And who is it that want to heal with me that don't want to let me be alone? There's a part of me that wants to be right.
There's a part of me that wants to be right.
Right. There's a part of you that wants to be right too.
There's a part of me that wants to be right.
There's a part of me that wants to be right. And are we trying to be right by trying to convince ourselves that we're understanding what's going on? Yeah. And how do we do that? We do that by interpreting the motivations of everybody around us and then reacting to them as if they're correct. But what we have to keep in mind is the one way you will know if your perception is correct is because you have peace and understanding. You'll have peace and joy. So if you don't have peace and joy, you don't have understanding. If you have peace, do you know you don't have understanding? Do you know that understanding and peace go together? Understanding and peace go together. So there's no such thing as being in conflict and fear and understanding what's going on. Really understanding what's going on. I'll say it again. If you have real understanding, then you have peace. If you don't have peace, you don't have understanding. They go together. So there's a lot of people in your life that you don't feel peace with. There's a lot of people in your life You don't understand. There's a lot of people in your life that you don't understand. If you have a lot of people in your life that you go through conflict with, and whoever that person is, who you're having conflict with right now, or feel with right now, you do not understand them. 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 Tell me who you're upset with right now, and I'll tell you who you don't understand. So you need to use the Holy Spirit's judgment, which is what? Every loving thought is true. So what's true?
Every loving thought.
So if I tell you loving thoughts, if I share loving thoughts with you, freeing thoughts with you, kind thoughts with you, are those thoughts true? Yes, they're true. Now, can it be true but you don't believe it's true? Yeah, it can be true and you don't believe it's true. So I'm not saying you necessarily believe that you are the most loving thing that ever walked the earth, but that doesn't mean it's not true. So the Course in Miracles says whenever someone is expressing loving thoughts to you, true thoughts to you, then you believe that. Because that's true even if they're insincere. Even if they don't mean a word they're saying, it still doesn't stop loving thoughts from being true. So if they were saying something loving to you, even if they didn't mean it, it was still true. Because it was loving. Wow. Okay, you got it? Now, what if they say something that's not loving? Then that is an appeal. I just cussed your butt out. I ran up and down what's lacking in you and what's wrong with you and what's crazy about you. Now you're looking at me, and you're looking at me through the eyes of love. You're looking at me through the Holy Spirit. You're looking at me the way that so you're sitting over there and you're going, okay, I'm going to interpret Earl right now because he just went off on me, and I'm going to use love's judgment, and that requires no effort, which is this. Everything Earl said to me that was loving and kind and peaceful was true. Him cussing me out, that was an appeal for healing. Earl was really saying, help! You no good son of a gun. That's what it sounded like. What I was really saying is, help me. Help me. I'm afraid. Help me. You no down dog. You don't know down dog. You always lying and you telling me one thing and then you do it another way and I caught you with somebody else and you no good. What is he saying to a person who's using the Holy Spirit's judgment? What am I saying? Help me. Help me. Help me. Help me. Help me. I just robbed the bank. What am I screaming? Help me. Heal me. Help me. Heal me. Help me. Heal me. Help me. Help me. Help me. I'm a racist. I'm a member of the Ku Klux Klan. I'm proud to be the Grand Kleagle. I wear gloves. They don't know who I am yet. What I'm really saying when I say I hate black folk and I'm a Ku Klux Klansman, I'm saying, help me. Help me. Help me. It's an appeal for help. Help me. Help me. Help me. Every time a political figure speaks, whether it's Donald Trump or Joe Biden, they're saying, help me. Help me. Heal me. Heal me. But we get caught up in the words and the form that they're using, and we lose sight of the content of what they're really saying, and we respond to the form that is coming out as. So the dude is saying, I hate black folk. I'm responding to that interpretation of his motivation. So I'm going to respond to him as if he hates black people. And so we're going to just project and attack each other. But suppose I saw the racist as saying to me, I hate black people, and I'm hearing, help me love black people. Help me love all people. Help me love. Because that's the one interpretation of motivation that someone who was conscious and sane and loving would use. I know how the person that loves me thanks to the Course in Miracles, I know how a person that loves me is going to talk to me, and how I'm going to talk to them, and how I'm going to treat them, and how they're going to treat me. I know through the Course in Miracles what that person would say, and how that person would treat me, and how they would act. Because I learned to recognize love. So if I'm calling for help, if that guy that's calling Earl out of his name who says he hates black folk, he's really calling for my help. The Ku Klux Klan guy is really calling for my help. So can I be justified in getting angry at him for saying that to me? I mean, if you're cussing me out and you're calling me the N-word and everything else, but I'm seeing it through my loving, conscious eyes, and I hear that you're calling for my help. You're calling for my help. So if a person is calling for my help, can I really be justified in getting angry with them for what they call me?
No justification.
See, that's deep when you think about it. That person is saying what I don't like and what I don't want to hear and what I think is an insult at one level. But at the same time, because I'm learning to see things correctly, I realize it's an appeal for healing and an appeal for help. And then I'm getting ready to get mad about what he just said to me. Then can I be justified? No. Could you really be justified in responding with anger to somebody just really asking for your help? See, we respond to calls for help that go something like this. I've really been having some issues, and I'm really feeling afraid. And I really would appreciate it if you could help me right now. Would you please help me? That's a call for help. White folk don't like me. I can't trust them. They're my oppressors. They do things to me and limit me. I hate you. Could you still see that as a call for help, as easy as you saw it as a call for help because I said it really quiet and nice? See, that's what the Course says we do. We respond to the form that the call is being made in, but we don't respond to the actual call itself. Have I lost anybody? So can I be justified then? Can she be justified in responding with anger when she really realizes I'm afraid and I need your help to see things another way? Because I don't know about you, but I'm more prone to help people who ask for help nice than to respond to people who call me out of my name. The abusive partner is really saying, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me. You can see it as a call for help and still go to a shelter. Because your first priority has got to be your own peace and your own safety. But don't misperceive what's going on. That person is frightened. They believe they're going to lose, and they're calling for help in desperation. And they think something that they think they value is going to get away from them. And because they don't even think they deserve that love in the first place, they're attacking you because that's what they believe they deserve. So people give what they think they deserve. The murderer murders because he wants to die. That's why he kills people in the first place. And it's a call for help. And it doesn't mean that you don't call the police.
That's right.
Don't confuse form with content. Don't confuse, people do that. They confuse form with content. So that's why I like to work in the book, because the way the Course phrases stuff is just awesome. So it says, can anyone be justified in responding with anger to a brother's or a person's plea for help? So what's the appropriate response? The willingness to give the help to them. So what is your appropriate response to my call for help? You should be willing to give the help to me. So what is the help according to the Course that I could give you that would be the greatest help of all? What is the help that I could give that would be the greatest help of all? It would be to give you to God. to give you to spirit, to give you to love, to give you, notice I didn't say to give you to my solution. I said the greatest help I could give you would be to give you to the infinite intelligence of the universe, to give you to the creator, to give you to God. Then what is my role? My role is to ask what I should do. My role is to ask spirit what I should do, where I should go, and what I should say. That's my role. And then if there's something for me to do, I'll be told. Then if it is something for me to do specifically with that person, other than give them to God, I will be told. Okay, how do I know if the guidance is coming from God according to the course, 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 according to the course? How will I know if the guidance is coming from God? The suggestion for what I should do is coming from God. How do I know if it's coming from God? How do I know if this guidance is coming from God? Well, here I'm about to tell you. Here you go. It will be something you are willing to do, and it will be something you are able to do. Now, what? If that guidance is coming from love, love is pretty smart. It's going to ask somebody to do what they're willing to do and what they're able to do, because that pretty much means it's going to have a great percentage of a chance of being done. You ask me what I want to do, and you ask me to do what I want to do and what I'm able to do, I'm much more likely to do what you're asking me to do, because you asked me to do what I want to do and what I'm able to do. So I'm probably going to do that. So that's a smart God would say that to a person. That's what I tell my friends or anybody I'm in a relationship with. And sometimes I've learned people don't hear that. I'll say to them, especially if I'm in an intimate relationship, the only thing I want you to do for me, now I want you to hear this, because your belief that you have to have sacrifice because you deal with other people, I'm not your past, okay? Listen carefully. I'm not your past, and I'm also not here to make up for what somebody else did to you in the past. I'm not your past, and I'm also not here to make up for the love you didn't get from them. I'm not here to make up for anything anybody didn't do for you in the past, okay? Because I'm not that person. So the first thing that you need to do is to recognize that I only want you to do for me what you want to do. If it's anything I ask you to do that you do not want to do, don't do it. And I'll be okay with you. I'll be okay with you. Most people are not used to that. They're used to, if I don't do what you want me to do, then you're going to get upset with me and you're going to punish me some kind of way or get back at me some kind of way, or you're going to get angry. That's the way the old thought system, that's the way it worked. In the new thought system, somebody that loves you go, now here's the catch. That don't deny my expression of that just because you don't want to do it. I want to go skiing, you don't want to go skiing. I want to go skiing, you don't want to go skiing. Don't you say I can't go skiing with anybody else. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Because if I'm being true to myself and what I really want, I'm going to go skiing whether you want to go skiing or not. That's part of me giving you the freedom I've given you to do what you wanted to do with me or not do what you want to do with me, is that I have the same right to do what I want to do and not do what I don't want to do either. That's what love would do. So the truth is, you were asking for help. Help is going to come from the truth. It's going to come from spirit. And so the Course says to us, then no response can be appropriate except the willingness to give the help to them. But your help is the help of God. Your help is the help of spirit. And your part is to ask what you are to do with that person if there is something for you to do physically. How can you tell if love has told you what to do? You will be willing to do it, able to do it now. Because that's the only thing that they're asking for. And no response is appropriate except a willingness to do it. So remember, an answer from love, and your mind might try to blot out what I'm saying. I'll say it to you again. If you're being directed by love and truth and spirit instead of your fear and your ego and the programming from the world, You are doing more and more every day what you want to do and what you are able to do and what you're willing to do. When you're listening to your ego, when you're listening to the false voice, you are doing what you don't want to do, one thing after another, behaving the way you think you should, even when you don't want to, and believing that sacrifice is love. So you believe in the more you give up what you want for somebody else, that you think that's making you a more loving person, but it's really making you a more resentful person. That's the only thing you have in that relationship is resentment. So someone who loves you would never demand that you do anything you didn't really want to do, but it doesn't mean they're going to deny themselves what they ask for you for. I'm going to stop there. Wait a minute. I want to go to the end of this paragraph. All right.
Well, thanks a lot.
Okay, yeah.
I was all ready to go.
Yeah.
Halfway on my chair.
This is practical. I haven't said anything that you all couldn't do when you try to do when you leave here. Then he says, he said, now what? Now I love this. He says, suppose you don't want to do what I just said. Suppose you don't want to do what the course just said. Suppose you don't want to see it as a call for love. What if you don't want to see it as a call for love? How do you know you don't want to see it as a call for love? You are angry in your response to them. Your anger in response to them is letting you know you don't want to see it correctly. You don't want to see it as a call for love. You don't want to see it as a call for help. That's why you are still angry. He says that means you are attacking that person's reality by interpreting it the way you want to. I'm attacking the truth about you calling for love because I'm interpreting what you're doing the way I want to. I'm not going to see it the way the Course in Miracles said. I'm going to see it as if you're attacking me. And so I'm interpreting what you're going on the way I see fit. I'm interpreting every one of you jokers the way I see fit. I see you all as being the way I see you fit to be. I see you as if you're the way I see you being fit to be. Perhaps the danger of this to your own mind you don't recognize, though. See, and me want to see y'all the way I want to see y'all regardless of where you really are. He said, maybe you don't understand, Earl, how dangerous that is to your own mind. Because if you believe that person is doing anything other than calling for help, if you believe that person is doing anything other than calling for help, even they cussing you out and they're going off, if you believe they're doing anything other than the call for help, then you are going to do what? If you believe that it's anything other than that, you're going to react to them as if they're the way that you are making up they are, regardless of how they're acting. You're really calling for help, but I think you're attacking me, so I'm going to respond to you as if you are attacking me. So guess what? My response, if I attack you for attacking me, my response is not incorrect. What? What are you talking about, Earl? What do you mean? Well, it's not incorrect in terms of my interpretation. See, I've interpreted that you're trying to do something to hurt me, and I'm reacting that way. So that reaction is not incorrect according to the way I'm interpreting it. Your reactions are always correct according to the way you're interpreting it. Your reactions to anything is always correct according to your interpretation of it, but your reaction is totally inappropriate in terms of the truth of what's really going on. The truth is, she's calling for my help, and she just cussed me out, and she's calling for my help, and I'm seeing it as anything other than that because I think she is cussing me out. So I'm responding to the perception I've made up, but it's totally inappropriate in terms of what the truth is. And the truth is, she is saying, help me, I'm afraid. Help me, I'm not seeing correctly. So my interpretation is correct as far as the way I'm judging you. But it's incorrect in terms of the reality of what's happening. And that's what people are doing all day long. And that's why you see the world the way that it is in the areas of the world that's full of fear and conflict and separation and hate and anger. Everybody that's hating, upset, afraid, they're doing exactly what I just got through covering so far. They're doing it. They're interpreting, and then they're responding to their interpretation, The interpretation is not one where they see each other as calling for love, so we respond to the form, so we get upset with people who's not getting upset with us, and we're right in the way that we interpret in terms of our judgment, but we're totally wrong in terms of the truth of what's really going on. And you want to give them to God. You want to give them to God. If you want God, the higher power, to solve your problems, to help you, then doggone it, that's the first thing you should be doing with your friends and your relatives and everybody else, is giving them to the higher power also. If you think the higher power is there for you, then you got to believe the higher power is there for everybody else, and it's not your responsibility to fix anyone.
Right.
Okay, so what do? Then people always, well, what do you do, Earl? I just told you. What you do is you ask, what do you want me to do? Where do you want me to go? What do you want me to say, Spirit? Who do you want me to say it to? Okay, then I get an answer. How can I tell when I'm receiving the answer? The way I can tell when I'm receiving the answer, how can I tell if I'm receiving the answer? It will be something I'm willing to do and something I'm able to do right now, because Spirit and love would never ask me to sacrifice and give myself loss and pain to try to help somebody else. And you don't have to believe that, and you don't have to accept that, and you don't have to welcome that, and some of it's hard to believe, and some of it's quite startling. Just the stuff I said at the very beginning. Acknowledge us for hearing this much. Come on now. Come on. You know, I'm afraid to express myself. Help me feel safe. Help me feel safe. Yes. Thank you. So remember, complete in about 5 minutes. Let me do this little part right here that I do also. I want to thank you for coming to my classes, and those of you who want to share. I'm a full-time teacher of the course. I do it on a donation basis, and if you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, you can use my website, www.earlpurdy.com. You can use Venmo, the Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, or Square. And those of you who are here that like to share, I'll give you that opportunity. Thank you. I'm available for clarity sessions, one-on-one sessions with me. One-on-one sessions called clarity sessions. I'm available for those. And I'm also available for astrological and numerological readings, where I also allow the symbolism of astrology and numerology as another way that Spirit gives us messages and gets us in touch with things that we need to know. I'm available for that. Just go to my website, www.earlpurdy.com. That's P-U-R-D-Y, and you can self-book a session with me right online, and you can get more details about what I share and what I do. I'm here only to be truly helpful. I'm only here to be helpful. And that, like the Course said, you don't have a problem that hasn't already been solved. You just separated yourself from the solution. So whatever you're going through, maybe I can help you that way. It's available. And also, all of my classes are uploaded to YouTube, so you can watch them on YouTube. And remember the rule, try to watch it or listen to the classes at least 4 times, because it's through repetition that we accept new ideas. And 4 is the number of the builder. It's the number of laying a foundation for what you're trying to do. Everything is a message. Everything is a message. It's Earl Purdy at earlpurdy.com. Earl Purdy at earlpurdy.com if you'd like to make a donation. Subscribe and follow and share. Okay. Every Sunday, 1:00 p.m. Mountain Time, Denver, Colorado. You can come in person. And it's at 1555 Race Street in Denver, Colorado, 80206. You can make as much noise as you want to. When you want to share. Okay. I have no problem. That's the best sound of call it crickling. That's good. Okay. And so I tell you, so I'm available. Okay, so now we're going to do 2 minutes.
You dropped some money on
Oh man.
All right, take a breath, everybody.
You're right.
We're gonna bring this home. I'm so glad I got a chance to share this. I needed to hear. Did anybody hear anything they needed to hear? All right, here we go. Everything is a call for love. Only love. That's what you are. Only love. Yes, that's what you are. Teach. Only love. That is what you are. That's what you are. That's what you are. That's what you are. Only love. Everywhere you go, teach only love. Everyone you know, teach only love. That's what you are. That is what you are. Yeah, yeah. Say what? Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Let's recognize the problem. So what? So the problem can be solved. Teach only love. Everywhere you go, teach only love. Teach only love. Let's have fun. Love is what you are. Say what? There's nothing to prevent you from seeing all calls for love. It's either love or a call for love, a call for help, a call for love, a call for help, a call for love, a call for help. It's either love or a call for love. That's what you're seeing. Say what? Only love. The shining star, only love. Love is what you are. Love is what you are. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Do you want to do that? Yeah. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Teach only love. Oh yeah. Teach every day. Only love. Teach every way. Teach only. In each and every way. Teach only love. That is what you are. If anybody that can move their head, what you do? Say what? Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. So what is it when that person goes home? It's a what? A call for love. A call for love. When they're sad, when they're afraid, what it is? What is it? It's a call for love. Teach only love. What? Shooting and love is what you are. Shooting and love is what. Now you gotta do it like you kicking your leg. You ready? Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Teach only love. Say what? Oh, do what? Teach only love. Teach only love. That is what you are.
That's what you are.
Whoa. What'd you say? It's a call for love, a call for love. It's a call for love, a call for love. It's a call for help, a call for love. See, music and moving and all that stuff, it helps to get into my mind, into my consciousness more. That's why I'm doing all of that. And I appreciate you all. so very much. Could you acknowledge you for hearing this much today? Appreciate you, mighty companion. May the course be with you.